Okay. So in the last class, we were studying about e-commerce and e-business, and we learned that e-commerce was all the online transaction basically at the end flow of the production cycle, and that transactions were termed as e-commerce, and consequently, e-business was part of e-commerce, which involves e-commerce, and e-business consists of the business being done through online mode or through internet. Okay, so we saw the comparison between the both. Next, we are going to study about business process re-engineering. So what is business process re-engineering? So it is the same as in enterprise resource planning. So what do you do in enterprise resource planning or under ERP? We are planning for each processes how to implement a simple procedure and to obtain the most profit. So that was the main aim for enterprise resource planning. So that is what we are doing under the planning procedure. Under business process re-engineering, we are re-engineering or redesigning. So you can look at the definition that is given here. Business process re-engineering is the radical redesign of business processes. So we are redesigning the business processes. So what is the aim for redesigning it? To achieve dramatic improvements in critical aspects like quality, output, cost, service, and speed. So these are the aspects in which business process re-engineering happens. So we are redesigning the business processes not to attain profits itself. So we have to obtain these aspects. So we have to obtain quality of the product. The product must be of top-notch quality. Then the output of the product. So output is nothing but the productivity, that is the number of products that is being released. So if we are generating more amount of product, that means the productivity is high, right? So we are that is another aspect. So we have to obtain more productivity or more output. Next, cost in the terms of incurring cost, that is the price that we have to give must be low, and the price that we obtain or the cost that we obtain must be high. So that is what is coming under cost. So we have to lessen the given cost and obtain the cost must be high. So that is coming under cost. Then service and speed. Service in the terms of the period of or duration of productivity. So the industry must last for a particular time, or that business must run for a particular time to obtain that profit, right? If you are planning it for a 10-year time, it must run for a 10-year time, right? So that is what is the term service means here. And then comes speed. Speed in the sense the productivity. In order to have a high productivity, obviously the speed of the business must be at a faster rate, or the production rate must be at a faster rate without any delays. So that is the basic aim of business process re-engineering. So I'll be terming it as BPR hands on. So BPR is nothing but business process re-engineering, and we are redesigning the processes already stated. So it is also a part of ERP. Okay, ERP is in the sense is always planning to increase the profit, but business process re-engineering, we are we want to improve the quality, the output, the cost, service, and speed apart from profit. Okay, these aspects are also introduced into the ERP system. Hence, it is termed as business process re-engineering. Next, business process re-engineering aims at cutting down enterprise cost and process redundancies on a huge scale. So we are uh, lessening the cost that is being incurred, and also the processes are uh, redundant redundant in the sense we are simplifying it and reducing the waste processes. So some processes may be repeated, or some processes may not be necessary for completion of that product. Okay, such processes are cut down. If you are cutting it down, it is called redundant or redundancies, and on a very huge scale. So if we are looking at the whole procedure from the obtaining of raw materials to the final packaging and delivering to the customer itself is the product life cycle. So during that entire product life cycle, we are cutting short the processes and the cost incurred. Okay, thereby we can improve or obtain more profit. So that is the main aim of BPR, that is business process reengineering. So, so one of the methods that they do under BPR is shown here. So first we will be identifying the process that may be to be eliminated or simplified. Okay, we will be obtaining that particular process. Then next procedure is to review, update, analyze, assign. So we are going to review the process, then update it. Update it means you have to implement the process into it, or you can cut that short, or you can eliminate that process. Okay, that is done under here. If it is chosen, if the process is chosen and updated, as in we are cutting it short or simplifying it, once that is done, we will make a design to be. We will use that particular process and create a design to be. And design to be product that is being released is nothing but the prototype product. Okay, we have already learned about prototype under module 1, and that is coming under design to be. So that is a prototype is being formed, and that is then tested and then implemented. Okay, that is tested for quality, output, cost, service, and speed. And once it is satisfactory, then this particular process or this particular product is introduced and implemented into. Okay, so that is the way BPR is being handled or conducted. Next, some of the steps that are required for BPR to run. So what are the various steps that is involved for BPR? The first one is map the current state of your business processes. So we are going to map all the business processes that is being carried out through the entire enterprise. So what is coming here under mapping, we are gathering data from all resources, both the software tools and stakeholders. We are using software tools, and by means of physical data from files itself, we are going to gather all the resources that we have on the processes that are being conducted inside the enterprise. Then we will understand how the process is performing currently. So we will be reviewing. That is what is coming under reviewing. We will be reviewing all the processes that is being conducted, from maybe from the procurement of raw material, how the raw material is cleaned of the impurities, then it is being crushed down, and then it is being transformed or molded into that particular product. So various operations are there and various processes are there. Okay, and cleaning, if you are taking of cleaning or removal of impurity, each and everything is a process. Okay, that is what is the process. So all these processes are gathered, and then we are understanding how the process is being done. So this process analyzing and all is done by an analyst. Okay, he or she may not be involved in the procedure, or he or she may not be a laborer. You must understand that they are not a laborer, and they don't know each and every process that is being conducted in that particular process, or maybe what chemical is being used for cleaning the raw material, or how the raw material is decomposed into the natural ore. Okay, so they don't know. Okay, they know a basic idea how the production cycle is there. So they have to study how the process, what all are being done in that process. Okay, so for that purpose, we are mapping next. Next step is to analyze them and find any process gaps or disconnects. So we are going to analyze the data that we are obtaining from each and every process, and from each process we are analyzing for any process gaps. Gaps or disconnects in the sense I have already told you the productivity must be under continuous flow. Okay, we have learned about continuous flow or the streamline flow. What flow is streamline in the sense there must not be any delay and work must be carried out in a continuous manner without any delay. So there must not be any delay time or any time difference between one operation and another operation. It must happen as such. So you have already seen in videos and all under manufacturing, right? Will be working. Um, if you are manufacturing a can of or something like that, first you can can mold that can maybe pass through the belt, and from the conveyor belt and drink. So drink is poured into the can, and then next procedure it's then sealed after many these cans are then held together and they are packed, and finally it is coming into the output. So that is the process. So if you look at that process itself under that manufacturing plant, you can't see any delay, right? It is being done very quickly, and by means of robotic arms or by means of the machines that are present there. So it is being done continuously. So that is what we have to obtain. We have to obtain a continuous flow. So that is what is coming under disconnects and gaps. So what you are doing in analyzing, you will identify all the errors and delays that hold up a free flow of the process. So we are identifying all the errors and delays under each processes, and these are detailed down. So you can look here, make sure if all details are available in respective steps for stakeholders to make a quick decisions. So stakeholders or in the terms of management, okay, management is making the decisions of changing the process, or a management level person, maybe a manager, maybe a supervisor or a CEO. So different people are there, right? So under that management field, laborers never take the decision, but it is all done by upper management in the sense supervisor, manager, CEO, anyone. Okay, so these they make the changes. So first we have to identify all the errors and delays that are occurring in a process. So that is the second step. Next, the third step, look for improvement opportunities and validate them. So we are analyzing, first we have pulled all the data, we looked for process gaps, and next we are improving, or we are improving that current process without any gaps. So we are eliminating the gaps, and then we are implementing this procedure, or we are for implementing it we have to improve it, right? So we have to improve the process for much productivity, and we are removing the gap, and then validating in the sense we are producing a prototype, and prototype is being tested, and if it is having the sufficient quality and the cost is less, then that procedure is being implemented into the current process, or it is replacing the current process. So that is what is being done. So check if all the steps are absolutely necessary. We are looking if all the steps are necessary, or if we are finding any gap we have to eliminate it. Okay, unnecessary processes are never encouraged in a business enterprise, because they are a waste. We have already learned about that waste under lean manufacturing, so it is termed as a waste, right? So that is also coming under this step, identifying the waste. Then, if a step is there to solely inform the person, remove the step and add an automated email trigger. Okay, this is an example. So they are telling us if there is a step that is involving with informing the person. So if there is a particular process, okay, and that process incur that once you are completing that process, you have to verbally announce or verbally see the superior, maybe the supervisor, and tell him the work has been done. Okay, so if multiple number of products are there and each time the product is being finished, he has to go that many times to that superior and report that he has completed that work. Okay, so it is a time, there is a wastage of time, right? That verbal communication or by means of a phone, etc., is a problem. Okay, to automate such a step, we will use an email trigger. Email trigger is nothing but the machine itself will count how much product is being completed. Okay, and once it is completed, an automatic email or an automatic response is being sent to the upper management based on that count. Okay, so the upper management will also obtain the number of product that has been produced under that particular workstation, and also the employee can also know the number of product. So that is one of the ways to eliminate or improve that particular step that is there. That is an example that they have stated. So that is what is coming under improvement of opportunities. Okay, that is another step under BPR. Next comes the last one, design a cutting edge future state process map. So implementing, so another way of implementing such a process is by the updation of technology. So we always know that the technology is being grown in a significant manner during the years, right? It is always growing up. So according to the technology or introducing a technology into a process is also coming under BPR. Okay, so always that process will be updated or it will be technologically feasible. It will be always at the forefront of the uh, state of the art process. Okay, it will be implemented in every company because of the technological update. Okay, so that is what is coming under design future state process map. So we are creating a new process that solves all the problems you are identified. We are we have identified each and every problem and we are creating a new process. Okay, don't be afraid to design a totally new process that is sure to work well. So even if there is a new process, entirely new process, basically every process is the fundamental process will always be there, and we are modifying various tweaks or we are tweaking it in a simple way. Okay, instead of that, if you are finding a new procedure itself or a new process that completely or does not have any relation to the previous process, then if it is having uh, more productivity, or if you are looking at it and you are seeing that it will work well or it is producing more productivity and it will be much efficient if you are implementing that process, you don't have to be afraid. You have to simply implement that process itself. Okay, so that is coming under deciding of a cutting edge. That is how you ensure that that process is the cutting edge or it is at the forefront of the technology. Okay, next one is last is designate KPIs for every step of the process. So KPIs we have studied in the last module, in the fourth module, and KPIs are nothing but key performance indicators. If you don't know what key performance is, please check the last module. So you will know that they are basically indicators that are result or their end result is always to obtain a idea of how the performance is being done. Okay, maybe some indicators are there. So we will be mapping out or giving particular operation some marks. Okay, if you are evaluating a person and that will be such marks, maybe 5 marks, then how he performed, maybe 10 marks. So that is how we are putting some indicators. Okay, how we performed is one type of indicator, and such performance are then measured. Similarly, in a business also, and even under process also, we have key performance indicators. And if you don't know what is that, please refer the for key performance indicators. Okay, such key performance indicators is also created for each and every step in the process to obtain or to understand if it is obtaining that particular performance for productivity. So that is all coming under BPR. Hope you understood BPR. Next, I will move on to okay, data warehousing. Okay, data warehousing and data mining. So we and similarly we are going to say two things. One is data warehousing, another one is data mining. So what are these both? Data warehousing, you can look here. The definition is given here. It is a technology that aggregates structured data from one or more sources so that it can be compared and analyzed rather than transaction processing. Once more, it is a technology that aggregates in the sense sum up. Summing it up is not, we are summing all the processes that are being done or all the data that we are that is incurred in the production cycle. We are aggregating it or we are summing it up into from one or more sources so that it can be compared and analyzed rather than transaction processing. So what is transaction processing? Basically, transaction processing is nothing but we have multiple number of transactions under an enterprise, from the procurement of raw material to the selling to the customer. These are all the transactions. Okay, transportation may be there, the equipment maintenance may be there. These are all coming under transactions. Okay, so normally under a business with ERP, etc., we always plan for increase in profit, right? So one of the ways for increasing profit was always to look at the cost incurred. So if we are reducing the cost incurred, always we will be obtaining more profit. So we are only looking at transaction or the cost incurred. If there is a term cost there, always the transaction type of analyzing is being done. Okay, such processing is known as transaction processing. So we are only looking at, or our objective is only looking at the cost. So such is called transaction processing. But under data warehousing, we are collecting all the data. Okay, we are collecting all the data, and basically they have told us structured data in the sense we are we in the BPR we have already learned we are implementing a process, right? And that process is in a structured manner, or it is in a standardized manner, right? And that data is being collected. It is not data which is not making any sense. So we are not taking data from a particular operation simply because it is present there. Okay, we are taking a group of data and we are aggregating it, and that is coming under data warehousing. We are taking all the data. Okay, so when you are looking at data mining, you will understand the difference between data warehousing and data mining. Okay, now next point, a data warehouse is designed to support management decision making process by providing a platform for data cleaning, data integration, and data consolidation. So warehouse. So what is the term warehouse mean? Warehouse is nothing but it is a, we will be saying as a storage room, right? If you are saying a warehouse present in a house, it is a um, basically a storage room. So in under data warehousing also, we are we have a compilation of data inside the warehouse or inside that house, and the management may obtain each data from various platforms or from various uh, departments by means of this data warehouse. This data warehouse may be present at a particular location. So in the case of data in the uh, which is stored in files with papers and all, it is being stored under one location, right? So if you are looking going into a police station, we'll be having all the FIR report, which is the data that is under police investigation, will be present under particular storage room. Okay, the similarly under industry also, all these data are stored at a particular storage room, and that data can be taken up by the management or the authority for making a decision for particular process. Okay, in if it is in files, it will have a storage location with a room and all. But if it is in an online mode or the data is present in the online location, then it will be stored in an online location or a website or a folder. Okay, such and all the data is being categorized. Okay, these are all coming under data warehousing. Then a data warehouse contains subject oriented, integrated, time variant, and non volatile data. So first one is subject oriented. Subject oriented in the terms of, if you want to look at productivity or if you want to look at profit, it is all under one data. So it is subject oriented. Here the subject is profit or the subject is productivity. Under productivity or labeling it and saving it in a folder, then it is called a subject oriented folder, right? That subject is present there and the data is being stored under that data. Okay, if you are studying for exam, data is being modules, and from module 1 there are this many topics or the data are stored under module 1 folder. Okay, so that is one type of data warehousing. Okay, that is subject oriented data warehousing. Integrated and time based. So time based in the sense we can calculate based on time, maybe daily. You are doing one work here and saving the data in particular date. So today it may be 25, 25 1 2021. Sorry, 22. Next, if we are doing the data tomorrow, then we are again under time variant 26 1 2022. Okay, such the data is being organized. Next, non-volatile data. Non-volatile in the sense it is not sensitive, so it will not be damaged. It will be stored forever, or it will be stored in a particular time. For a particular time, it must not be destroyed. The data must be always available. So such a data is known as non-volatile data. So these all are being stored under a data warehouse, and data warehouse consolidates data from many sources while ensuring data quality, consistency, and accuracy. So we'll be taking data from many sources, many departments or many procedures, etc. From all we will obtain data, and these are collected, and we are ensuring that the data is top notch, that it must have the particular quality, or there must not be any fraud. There must be fraud being committed in the data. The data must be of top-notch quality. Next, consistency. It must be always obtained. So we are taking from a particular operation, maybe the cleaning operation. How many raw materials are being cleaned? Okay, that is a particular set of data. If you are cleaning 50 for today, similarly you will be cleaning 50 for tomorrow, right? So that data must be always be obtained. If you are cleaning that 50 products or 50 raw materials, you must obtain the data of that 50 materials immediately, or always you have to keep on obtaining it. That is what is coming under data consistency. And finally, accuracy. Accuracy and quality are similar because the data must be accurate to have quality. Okay, or it is called a fraud data, or the data forgery is being done. So these are coming under data warehousing. So you can see how data warehousing is implemented. So from the source, maybe a department or particular operation, we are extracting the data or we are obtaining the data, or a personnel enters the data into a particular warehouse where it is being transformed in the sense by means of the management. The management is a managerial person is obtaining the data and he is transforming it to a target. So what is the target? Maybe to improve the process or improve the procedure. So that is the target here. So first you have to transform it, or the process is studied and we are transforming it and then loading into the target. So that is what is coming under data warehousing. So that is the simple mode in which data warehousing is done. And the next one is what is data mining. So under data warehousing, we are compiling all the data under one location. What is data mining? So it is said here that it is the process of finding patterns and correlations with large data sets to identify relationship between data. So we have compiled all the data. From that data or from that data warehouse, we are finding patterns. Okay, we are finding patterns of all the data and finding out the correlation between them. So we are going to study from one data. Suppose there is an operation for cleaning out the raw materials of impurities. Okay, and these impurities and are then dumped outward. Okay, we don't require that impurities and we are dumping it outward. Okay, these are both two operations. So cleaning it out and dumping the impurities are two operations. Okay, dumping out an impurity, if you are having an impurity that is effective, so if you have an impurity like a small in an ore, in a natural iron ore, may have some impurities such as ferrous rust may be there. Then there might be some uh, copper or some type of any other materials. Okay, these are all impurities in the terms of natural ore. So we only have to obtain iron, and others are termed as impurities, and hence we are removing them, right? So if you can make that impurities, or if you obtain that impurities, and if you can change it into another operation. So if you are obtaining copper as an impurity, so many coppers you are getting from that impurity, and this copper can be further utilized for other procedure. Okay, so that is what the pattern here is. So we are taking two operations. So first one was cleaning and another one was removal of impurities, right? And we are looking for a pattern. So what you can do with that removal of impurities? Okay, you can utilize it for another operation. So if it is copper, you can use it for the production of brass. Okay, that is one of the step under data mining. So we are obtaining the data from the data warehouse of two operations, of dissimilar operations, and we are obtaining a relationship between that data for better process planning or for better productivity, or finally to implement and obtain more profit. So that is the basic difference of data mining. From that data we have collected under the data warehouse, we are mining the data. So what is mining? We are obtaining raw materials, right? Same way we are obtaining data from the data warehouse and we are finding patterns. So that is coming under data mining, and you can see under data mining how it is being done. So data is obtained, we are analyzing it. So a problem is defined. A problem is defined, and for that solution, we have to obtain data, right? So we are obtaining the data from data warehouse, and from that data, we are analyzing that particular data, and then we are creating a model for how maybe for the removal of impurity was the problem and how that impurity has to be transformed into particular product, right? So after analyzing that particular step, we are modeling that step, or we are introducing another step in which the impurity is then transformed uh, into another product, maybe particularly brass. Okay, so we are verifying if that particular process is applicable, or if we can do it better. And then insights in the sense of, if you can improve the process, if you want the process to be improved further after the production of a prototype, then you can, that comes under insights. And finally, we are creating that procedure or products. Okay, so these are coming under data mining. So I will wind up the session today.